Been a while since I've made a video. Might as well do something simple. I'm gonna rank the worst to best Touhou games in a list and mention their strengths and weaknesses. Mostly unscripted, like all of my videos are. So I'll try my best. Here we go. Now, if you know me, my worst Touhou, I think if this isn't your worst Touhou, I don't know what to tell you. Because it's absurd how many people, like, some people actually glaze this game. And maybe you're having fun with it, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something about this game. Whatever it is, please tell me in the comments. Touhou 19 is the worst Touhou game. Absolutely the worst Touhou game I've ever played. I had a horrible experience playing this game. Let me mention why. Game feels incomplete. There is no scoring. Game has, for some reason, has a hit counter system, but doesn't have scoring, I guess. And the characters feel unbelievably underpowered. Like, so you know the Hiroshima philosophy of having weird, inaccurate movement with low P shooter damage. This is how I feel about Touhou 19, because you're gonna play Reimu, for example, and you're not gonna use your charge. This isn't version 1.00a, where Reimu charge was level 2 charge was OP and one-shots bosses. No, you're using Reimu, just Reimu, and you're using needles at the fairs, and the fairs feel like boss fights. You cannot fight them, you cannot damage them for some reason. They take a long time to die. And this just doesn't give that feedback that I'm gonna keep mentioning this over and over in every entry maybe. The feedback from killing enemies, from damaging bosses, from using a certain gimmick. It should bring the player satisfaction. Touhou 19 isn't any of that. I remember having the worst time with Son B10. Son B10's bullets just have no feedback, not visually or audibly or in damage. Nothing feels good about her character, her shot type. And someone mentioned to me, hey, the multiplayer is good at least, and I've never tried. I think I've tried local multiplayer with my brother, and even my brother was bored. he immediately smelled the shit in this game, and to be honest, I don't blame him. I think if I ever play this game, I'm gonna just play Yuma, because even Yuma cannot one-shot the fairies. Her level 2 do. I remember her level 2 didn't do much damage to the fairies for some reason. Even though it covers like a wide area of the screen. What else? Yeah, the card system. For some reason, just Zon brings back the card system and puts in like these unique cards that never appeared in Touhou 18. And apparently these actually have uses in multiplayer. You choose one card or two. I'm not sure. I don't know how this will improve the game. I guess there's like a deep meta in there. But when you play Touhou 19 and you get into the server and you find out that I'm over exaggerating. Many of the cast characters are banned. This tells you something about the game. This tells you something about how incomplete the game is. Even if you LNN the game with certain characters, they wouldn't count it. Even if you check maribelhearn.com back then, I'm not sure now, let me check. Maribel Hearn. Even though I don't care about LNNs and challenge runs, just let me check. I have to check. Yeah, here we go. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blank characters. 7 blank characters that don't count for some reason. I don't know why. You getting a LNN with them doesn't count, or just nobody bothered to do it, or so many people got an LNN, so nobody cares really. Anyways, too much Touhou 19 slander, even though it deserves it. Slander Touhou 19 more. I mean, oh yeah. Let me mention the new update. The new update just removed the fun jank in the game where you can break the game or one-shot characters with Rainbow, but he never really, fixed the damage and how underwhelming some characters are, I guess. But if someone who is deep into the meta can tell me, please do let me know, because I never bothered. This game just doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good. Remember, it just doesn't feel good. Next on the list, Touhou 17. Oh, Touhou 17. Ah, yeah. I have talked about this game in my previous video. Game is just outright bad. And the gimmick is just a bastardized version of the UFO gimmick, where you collect these animal tokens and get into hyper mode. While that's a cool idea, it's executed so horribly. Not like, I think this game needed a rank system at least. It needed some pay, like the game had to do something whenever you use this hyper thing, because hyper is so, like wolf and eagle are broken, and they're supposed to be broken, but there has to be this feedback from the game that tells you, hey, you're using hyper, hey, no, we're gonna make the game harder. That's what's supposed to happen, just like in Daiojo. If you've ever played Daiojo, you use a hyper, you increase the rank. As simple as that. The game just gets harder because you're using hyper. And not only that, like whenever you use a hyper or go into roaring mode without a hyper, you get a one-hit shield. While that's not bad in itself, I think that's just the... Is it fine to say the cherry on top? Because it's not a good thing. Because the game is already too easy. Especially the auto hyper. Auto hyper is just outright broken. Makes the scoring system just boring to watch. I guess the duping thing is fun. That's all there is to it. But... And there's a lot of random elements. Too many. In the... whenever, like, the tokens spawn. Whenever you finish the roaring mode or a mode with the rare beast token. Which, the rare beast token, like the secret tokens, is a cool gimmick. I just wish it wasn't just stuck to the mid-bosses only. At least, like, put them somewhere around in the stages so I can have something to do in these god-awful, horrible designed stages. Looking at you, stage 3, I think every stage, even stage 5 or 6, and like 6, nothing happens. 5, nothing happens. You're just hypering. I guess 5 is the most interactive. You're interacting a lot in 5. Finally, something to do. 4 is just, and 3 is speaks for itself. People jokingly say stage 3 is the best designed stage, which is funny. But it's uncanny how people just, joke about this stage, saying it's the best, even though it's the worst Touhou stage. Even worse than the primitive stages from Touhou 2, because Touhou 2 at least has an excuse. It has an excuse. It has, you know, I can give it some leniency because it has, you know, it's very early into the game development for Zune. Either way, 2017 and 19 are the only. I think it's the. I could say fairly that 19 and 17 are the only Touhou games that I dislike. I won't include spin-offs, sorry. But yeah. Touhou 15. Now let's get into Touhou 15. I have rambled about this game and why I have a feud with it. I've rambled a ton, I think twice in my videos, and a lot whenever I join VC and someone just talks about Touhou 15. I'm just like, oh man, I have to say it. Touhou 15 is too easy. And I don't think, okay, now you're gonna say, Burb, stop saying the game is easy. Being easy isn't bad. When I say easy, I mean a lot of things. There are two types of easy. One is the one where the patterns are easy, interactive, and fun. Not too boring, fast-paced, cool. It's like maybe Touhou 10, I'd say. Patterns are easy, sort of, on normal. Depends on the difficulty. But the other type of easy, I mean, is when the game is just so unhealthily broken with the resource system. I don't know what Zun was thinking. The reason why I always ramble about this game is not because the life system is like that. I hate the life system, sure. But and not only because the patterns are too hard. I think it's fine if the patterns are hard. Just don't make a resource system like that. It's very unhealthy. It's just, and I mentioned this before in a VC. So you're gonna stack up lives. You're gonna play Raisin or Sanae. You're gonna keep bombing over and over and over. But whenever you're trying to dodge these patterns, you're not learning anything really, because you're just gonna keep hearing your character pitchoon and die over and over, and that doesn't make you feel good. Even as even beginners that are gonna keep hearing themselves dying over and over, especially in point device mode, which is badly designed in my opinion. I don't like it. But overall, even in legacy mode, you're gonna die a lot. You can, like, I think die 20 times or maybe like 15 times and still want to succeed the game. Isn't that just kind of ridiculous? Are you like, are you just aware of how absurd this is? Now, here's the thing that pisses me off. First demo in Touhou 15. It was a score extend game. It was healthy. Chapter bonus gives you bomb pieces. That made a ton of sense. You're gonna stack up bombs early on. You're gonna, and while you're stacking these bombs, you're actually scoring, and you're gonna get this score extend. This makes sense. And then what you're gonna do is, if you hate a pattern, if you dislike a pattern, you're gonna bomb it. Ringo, for example, comes to mind. I hate Ringo. And then you're gonna have that gusto, this grit you have, like, oh, I think I can capture, I think I put lots of practice in this pattern. I'm gonna try and capture it. But there's this high risk. Remember this word, risk. High risk that if you die, you lose all of these extra bombs. Now, whenever I die with 0 bombs in Touhou 15, is there any risk? Actually, if I die with 2 or 3 bombs, is there any risk involved? Sort of. Small risk. I'm gonna just die and then super graze, because that's how broken the system is. You need to get 3 chapter bonuses to get an extend. Dumb decision. I don't know why he did that. Other than that, I like the game. I like some of the stuff in the game. There are some stuff that I love. I find fun. Early on, I think stage 1, 2, and 3, they're fun to play. Stage 4 is a bit and then you got stage 5. Stage 5, one of my favorites in the series. Clown Piece, despite how hated she is, I love her fight, either way. And then you got, oh yeah, let's start the ramble. Let's start the rant. Junko. If you find Junko fun, I think you have never played a shmup other than Touhou. You, like, even in Touhou you can find examples of good final bosses. Kanako from Touhou 10. Okina from Touhou 16 is actually amazing. I don't care what people say. Shin Miyomaru is a cool final boss. She has fun patterns, and one of her like gimmick survival cards, which so many people, I think, some people hate, but it's overall just easy because it's completely static, and you can just route it. It's the you know, the one where she makes your hurt box large. She turns the character into a giant sprite, which is a fun idea. I think that's like a cool gimmick. Now, let's get into Junko. Let's go back into Junko. Junko is the embodiment of the worst thing in Touhou. Now, her patterns are all just rings of bullets that have small gaps. The only few spells that I find cool, Murderous Lilies, which is spell 2, spell 3, I don't know its name, and Pristine Lunacy, the one with the lasers, which curvy lasers. Even though, you know, curvy lasers, they're annoying, but it's a cool spell card, it looks good. But the rest is just embarrassing. Just because here's the thing. Touhou, the point of Touhou spell cards is that they have to represent something, like something cool with their name. And then you look at Trembling Shivering Stars. It's just fucking checkerboard, you know. You're playing checkers. You move diagonally, left, right, left, right. Easiest spell card in the game. And the final boss has it. Zan really is just super lazy about this final boss. And then you got the fans, the players, quote-unquote players, if they play the game even. Maybe they watched footage and they were like, oh yeah, I'm a lore master. Junko, she's trying to kill you so the patterns are hard, or maybe she's purified so the patterns don't look beautiful. Just face palming and like, okay, if she really wanted to kill you, why aren't the patterns impossible? Oh, but she's breaking the spell card rules. Okay, why isn't she throwing at you impossible patterns? A wall of bullets that have 0 gaps. Why? Tell me. This is why I hate Junko. Junko's okay. The character herself, cool design. I think I like Junko, but the boss fight itself. Until now, I have never played a boss fight worse than Junko. Between all the shmups I've played, nothing worse than Junko. Worst boss fight I've ever played in a shmup on a bullet hell, to be honest. Anyways, 12:15 has its ups, has many off downs. Let's go over the other game. Okay, Touhou 2. Touhou 2, I haven't played much, so feel free to criticize me. Even for the next entry, which I haven't played a lot, but I've played it, like, I've credit fed through it. Either way, Touhou 2, it's very basic, simple, not really bad, it's just mediocre. But you know, it's early on. Zun, youngling Zun, just college student, making a simple 80s style shmup isn't bad by any means. It does a lot of things. It has a lot of flair. I love the meme fight. Soundtrack is amazing. There's even this thing in stage one. The music is amazing, but then later on, rainfall comes in, and you know it's like there's something up and coming. Some danger or something. Either way, and it has a lot of enemy variety sprites. You know, the the Touhou game that is all about yokais and Japanese mythology that has, you know, kappas coming up and some weird ass bats and every kind of monster. But later on, it comes down to just having fairies and yin yangs, which I plenty dislike. Just put more sprites. Sorry. Either way, yeah. Overall, basic game. Nothing much to say about it. It feels like a classic 80s shmup, 90s shmup. I'd say no focus movement, which I don't mind. Either way, Touhou 1. It's not really a bullet hell, but it does have dodging bullets. I do know. At first, I wasn't sure if I wanted to count it, but I have to because it's part of the legacy. It's fun to an extent. It's unique. Has a lot of fun stuff. It has two paths, which not many Touhou games do. Yeah, nothing much to say about Touhou 1. Now down the line we got Touhou 18. And Touhou 18, with its card system, it has an open-ended survival. You can, you know, mix and shuffle your cards. You want to try this and that, these combinations. You want to restrict yourself from some cards in here and there. Whatever you do, you can do it. Like, it's pretty fun. It's for survival. But I feel like the game feels a little too slow. There are these pattern bullets that are like, okay, I'm gonna tell you how every bullet pattern in Touhou 18 goes. Enemy shoots, they accelerate slowly, then become faster. Or the opposite, they shoot, then they become slower, they deaccelerate. And this is just something I see even in Touhou 17, if I remember correctly. And whenever you do something crazy, if you, and I hate comparing a lot, but old Touhou 7 and Touhou 6, Touhou 8, you see bullets that shoot and they're super fast. Immediately, snap, act, come on, react. Or maybe slow bullets that have like these reading challenges where you have to get through tiny gaps, even though the heart boxes are different, but And then you get another game that is not Touhou, Ketsui. If you wanted really to do like acceleration, deacceleration sort of patterns, I'd say Ketsui is the best example to look at. Let me think of a good pattern in Touhou 18. You know, despite people hating on it, I like Takane's last spell card. There is even oof. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, I like Misumaru's nuns 1 and 2 specifically. I like no, the rest is just okay. Chimata spell cards are a bit like, there's some things that are happening there, but overall I wanted to talk about something else too. Touhou 18 has the worst scoring system. I don't think Zon tried. It's half-assed. Just not even half-assed. 10% assed. Because what you do in the scoring system is you use the best cards for funds milking. Because funds give you PIV and score. They act as the point item and the PIV increaser. Why? This is just so one-dimensional. I don't get it. Why? Just overall, like, makes all runs feel weird. Like, the scoring system just feels so boring to watch. And not only that, there's this RNG element in the game. Okay, and it's the market. What people do is they use the TH-Prac tool to give themselves the cards they want in a practice mode, and then they leave the game, and the next run they're gonna go for, they're gonna get the same exact cards in the shop, which is called market manipulation. And the fact that you have to use a tool to get the best possible run, just kills the whole game. Not that it's already killed, not that it's been alive, it's just the moment Zon just thought, hey, 1000 PIV every time you collect funds, that's when the scoring system died, honestly. Could have been much better. I have a video on this. The video isn't the best, but I try my best. Bear with my ramblings. But yeah. Later down the line we got Touhou 16. And okay, Touhou 16. So Touhou 16 subseason system is cool. It kind of changed up the shot type system, and again it has that the scoring is really approachable, but I feel like it was sort of half-assed. And why I say that is because Zon really didn't just test out the games and how they score. Because I think that the game should have had a increase in the PIV limit or something. Maybe, you know, green items shouldn't act as point item values, point items. You know, because I think, if I remember correctly, green items and point items double as point item. I mean, what was I about to say? Green items double as point item value, point items, and a PIV increaser, which I'm against because this is the same as Touhou 17. What I think is the best is that you're going to use release for to increase your PIV, and point items. In a way, you want the player to collect point items at their maximum value through maneuvers and routes. And you don't want the PIV to be 500k, that would be just boring. Maybe, you know, it would be much more interesting if every stage had its own PIV, like Touhou 6 when you graze, and, you know, increase the star value, item value. Because in Touhou 6, the point item is static, depending on difficulty, but the star items increase in value each time you graze, which is fun. Reminds me a lot about what is it? Some game that has like a specific stage scoring thingy, you know, stage counter and such. Maybe it's Mushi Futari. Not sure about it. Mushi Futari has a totals counter either way. Not sure what the stage counter does. I think it does something. Back to the point. The game just gives you tons of extends. Feels incredibly easy because of that. And it gives you, you know, so in turn, because you have tons of extends, you get tons of bombs. You can release a lot. Bomb release, bomb release, bomb release, die. Oh, you got an extend. Yeah, okay, sure, go again. The shot types Solo shot types, I love them. But they don't have that feedback, that oomph, you know? Reimu has these, spring leaves that she shoots. They're pretty slow. They don't have kineticness. Don't have that swooping, fast amulets that hit the enemies real fast. Just really slow traveling and then just hitting the enemies. You don't feel the damage from it. Even though it does damage, but yeah. Other shot types kind of suffer from that. Marisa not so much because she had got the lasers, the dentist machinery, the dentist tools, the it sounds like a dentist tool when they, perform the cleaning, which is funny. Shit. Okay, next game, Touhou 13. Many people hate this game. I don't know why. Actually, I know why. Spirit chaining. I think it has a lot of fun stuff. It does a lot of things right. It has some things wrong. Spirit chaining, cool. I love spirit chaining. I wish Zon just had a hit counter visible, like 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit. You're getting white spirits because you're getting a chain. It has a cool scoring system. My brother has been scoring Touhou 13 on normal with Marisa. And that run, like, when I watch the run, it's well paced. There's no milking at all. Maybe a little bit of milking, specifically in stage 4 boss, where you just keep killing Yoshika over and over during the spell cards. But that's all there is to it. The rest is just you just point blank with trance, which is fun. I think that's a fun scoring system. And it gets really crazy during stage 6, because stage 6 is equal stage that has the these fairies that carry spirits. You could call them spirit trains. That has these lots of blue spirits that gives you lots of PIV and score, which is fun. Either way, it does a lot of good. I did mention that, but it has some questionable design decisions. Like on higher difficulties, the patterns in stages sort of like prevent you from hitting POC, and whenever you hit POC, you're just collecting the items and not the spirits. So you want to move around and collect the spirits real fast, in which the game forces you to PIV, to point blank the enemies a lot. It's also pretty slow from stage 1 to 3 or 4. Not sure if I could count 4. 4 is like a fun stage for me. But yeah, it does like, it has that feeling of, there's something wrong with it. Just can't put my finger on it. Next on the list, Touhou 3. Touhou 3, I got into it. It's sort of a Twinkle Star Sprites clone, but Touhou. I love the game. Nothing bad to say about it, really. But I'd say, not much bad to say about it. I haven't gotten deep into it much. I've gotten a normal 1cc. It's pretty well paced. The game is well thought out with the single player. Whenever there's these specific timers for characters, they end at a specific time, they get hit. So you don't really stay that much, and it's super fun to chain the enemies that come in. It's like, they're similar to these Twinkle Star Sprites chaining. They get much faster whenever you're like snowballing the game with level 2 charges and such, and it's pretty fun to spam level 2 charges and spawn tons of spirits and You know, the back and forth. It's fun. I love it. You is it Yumemi? Yeah, Yumemi is brutal. She's cruel, but keep trying and you're gonna get it. Trust. Just don't inquire her, don't provoke her boss attack. Trust me. You wanna have a level 4 charge to cancel out her boss attack. Play as pacifist as possible. Use your bombs whenever you can. Don't keep them there. Other than that, I'm not too deep into the game. Not an expert. But it's fun. Now, next on the game, the last multiplayer game I'm gonna talk about. Touhou 9. It's my favorite multiplayer game in the series. Although it hurts my eyes from the, spirits that fly from above the screen, it feels just like Touhou 3. The matches are fast-paced. You're always doing something. Not much really to say about it. I like the cast of the characters. I like how you can chain, that carries on from Touhou 3. You chain the fairies, and you got much more functions. It has a lot more happening in it. I just overall love it. Even though it's sort of got that random flair, I love it. I love it. Just fun. Pure fun. Now, on to the next Touhou. Touhou 4. Touhou 4 is my favorite piece. Not my favorite. My first PC 98 game to 1cc on normal and hard. It has some janky patterns, impossible patterns, but I'm fine with those. I got bombs either way, I can do it. And I like, the way that PC 98 games just don't have spell cards, they have patterns, they have phases. Like, you're in a phase, the boss does this pattern, that pattern, rinse and repeat, and then it's cool. I love it. I'm gonna talk about it later. You know what game I'm gonna talk about. It's one of my favorites. But yeah, Touhou 4, pretty cool. I just kinda dislike how Stage 2 plays on Lunatic. Like, you get backstabbed, it's annoying. But yeah, I think there is a rank system in the game. I like how the game scores, sort of. Pretty simple. You bomb, the items double in value. You have to stay at the top of the screen for the max value of it, and to double it again. I love using bombs for the scoring, because there's score extends in the game. And whenever you make a game have score extends, you get plus points from me. You get my certified thumbs up, burp thumbs up approval. I love score extent. They show how much knowledgeable the player is about the game and how it works. The sooner you get the extents, the better. You watch someone's survival replay and oh shit, damn, he got the extent at this point of time. He got the last extent before me. I want to try getting the score extent earlier. It's that sort of fun in it. But overall, Touhou 4, it's gonna get a callback in a later Touhou game with the shot types. You got 4 shot types, Reimu AB, Marisa AB, and cool shot types. I love him. And next on the list, Touhou 14. I like Touhou 14's gimmick, period. Which is you POC tons of items, you get a bonus depending on how many items you collected, and you get a repeated bonus. Like the bonus you get is like multiplication of the items you collected, I think. Whatever, I don't want to get into specifics. But cool scoring system, cool gimmick that rewards you with resources, sort of a UFO gimmick, but with less steps, I'd say. That's how I would describe it. You know, you collect these items, you put these items on screen, you know, time your shots when you kill the enemies, and then you POC, and you collect all of these items on screen and get a bonus 2.0, which is the best rewarding thing that gives you a guaranteed life piece. The shot types are broken but funny. I love them. I have a video on Sakuya A and DDC. Pretty fun video where I describe why I like this shot type and why it's broken. There's lots of resource generosity in the game. You get tons of resources, but it's not as bad as Touhou 15 in my opinion, because you actually take higher risks than grazing. Like in Touhou 15, you're gonna graze. You have slow graze. Slow graze just eases everything up. You just slow graze. You get 5 graze. In Touhou 14, you have to time your you know, you gotta keep hitting the POC. It's risky. You know, there's these fairies that, you know, the enemies, they're not gonna let you go POC. You gotta time your POCs. You gotta help them. And the more items you POC, the better the reward is in score. And if you get a bonus 2.0, you're gonna get a guaranteed life piece. And there's this like cycle. You get 4 1 pieces and then 1 life piece, which is the 5th POC, bonus POC. I'm planning to, I wanna get into Touhou 14 scoring, but on normal, because I'm not that good. Maybe with Reimu A, maybe with another character. I'll see. I'll try my best to get into it if I have time. Now on to Touhou 7. Touhou 7 is just a classic. People will call this game peak fiction or the goated game. You know, they love, like the kids say, peak goat mugs everything, whatever you could say. But yeah, Touhou 7 is, it does, again, I'm gonna say it again, does a lot of things right. I'm gonna talk about the things that it does right. Shot types, characters, and Zon gets into specific values and quirks within the characters. Like, for example, did you know that Marisa's death bomb window is 8 frames while Sakuya death bomb is 6 frames? I bet you didn't know that. That's why Marisa has 2 bombs and Sakuya has 4 bombs, while for some reason Reimu has 3 bombs and has a 15 frame death window, I think. But yeah, let me think. And yeah, this cherry gain, the gimmick of the game, you get 50,000 cherry points, which is the pink number bottom left, and it gives you a barrier, and this barrier gives you a 1-hit shield, and also auto collects all items on screen. Cool gimmick, I love it. And also it also doubles as a scoring gimmick, where you have to graze these bullets while you have the supernatural border active to increase your point item value, I think. I'm not sure about the specifics of Touhou 7 scoring. I need to watch a video later after I record this video. But yeah, cool scoring system, even though there is only one person who scores it right now on Lunatic. Maybe there are some contestants that are gonna come up and steal his record. I think it's called Yosuke, the Touhou 7 god. But here's the thing, my only criticism about Touhou 7: super slow paced, very slow paced. I don't know why that the reason, and it's not because stage 4 is too long. No, it's because the spell cards start up and they don't take damage. They're winding up their spell card and then they shoot the patterns for some reason. And the reason why Zun did this specifically, I think at least, is to give the players time to charge up their cherry points so they can get a cherry board soon. Sure, not too shabby, but wouldn't it be better to keep the player, like, to give the player the option to, charge it up, which you can do right now. You can charge it up without like that wait time before the pattern starts, by staying unfocused even during the nuns. Higher risk, higher reward. You're gonna get a shield for a spell card that you hate. As simple as that. Either way, yeah, Touhou 7. The presentation is amazing too. The story is amazing. Yuko, my beloved. Yeah. And then there's this, survival pattern at the end. Survival spell card where Yuko shoots these patterns at you, and you have to survive them. Resurrection Butterfly, one of my favorites, especially with the music that plays there. My favorite track in Touhou 7. Next game is the last PC98 game. Woohoo! Touhou 5, Mystic Square. Peak PC98 era. Overall, solid game. Nothing else, nothing more. Solid game. Nothing to say about it. It's pretty solid. I'd say the scoring is... but it's fine. I love it. I love the survival aspect. I like keeping my dream meter full as much as possible. Try not to bomb, try not to die. Pretty cool gimmick. I wish the scoring system wasn't tied to it, and the scoring system alone, and the dream meter alone. And even though it doesn't have score extend, it has the Touhou 7 style extends where you collect point items as fast as you collect a lot of point items and get the extends. And also, Mima, the coolest fucking character in PC98, is playable. Hands down, Mima's the coolest character. I love her. And I didn't even play Touhou 2 when I played Touhou 5. I played Touhou 5 first. I tried Mima out, and she's the best character immediately. Not only in shot types, like in even personality and such. Now, we are about to reach the top 5, and my 6th best game, an honorable mention towards the top 5. I'm gonna cheat here. Touhou 12.8, Great Fairy Wars. You might as well consider it mainline, to be honest. This game is too well designed, well-paced game, 20 minutes max, fast, almost impossible patterns to dodge, but these patterns are built for the freeze gimmick. The game wants you to freeze, wants you to freeze the bullets with Cerno, and you get that chin freezing feeling, this feedback you get whenever you hear the bullets freeze up and break, cancel, and you get this percentage increase in score, and you get it's just overall just chef's kiss. So well designed, and the game makes you start with 0 bombs, or perfect freezes, the other name it has, but I'm gonna call them bomb for simplicity's sake. Bombs in this game, you start 0. The more you freeze, the more you charge it up. You charge up, you get a bomb. You get max 3 bombs, no more, no less. Game encourages you to use bombs so you don't overflow. You want to increase that percentage of bombs as soon as possible. You want to charge up the next bomb as soon as possible. You're gonna use the bomb, and not only that, the game is gonna reward you. Oh, you used the bomb. Okay, we're gonna give you a score. You freezed all of these bullets on screen. Cool. And the game has a lot of free will, creativity, routing, routes like A route A, route B, and you got the gorillas freezing. It just feels good. You wanna fight Sunny Milk first. You wanna fight Star Sapphire first. You're a masochist. You want to fight Luna Child, final boss. Good for you. And the Touhou extra stage is cool. I like the design. I think the design is the extra stage design. Even though I haven't cleared it yet, but I'm gonna clear it eventually whenever I feel like playing Touhou. But yeah, enough Touhou 12.8 glazing entering top 5. Now, number 5 is Touhou 11, Subterranean Animism. Subterranean Animism has peak Touhou presentation. Now, what precedes Touhou 11? Touhou 10. Touhou 10 is bright, has a lot of, positive vibes. You fight the final boss, and it's all hunky-dory. It's fun. Then you get into Touhou 11, and the first stage is this melancholic, dark theme, like with this like kind of, I cannot describe it. This music, this dark blowhole. Just listen to the stage 1 theme. Damn, this game is like subtly, I cannot pronounce it, subtly dark. With the taboo yokai's nuclear, what is it called? The bridge that no one crosses or something like that. Parsi being this jealous yokai that, curses people with a straw doll. Satori being this hated yokai, barred from society, who reads minds. You got Koishi, you got tons of, and you got like this. The story is amazing too, and the gameplay. Let's get into the gameplay. The resource system is balanced. Why is it balanced? Let's compare it. Okay, I'm gonna bring the example again. Touhou 15. Why is Touhou 15 unbalanced? You're gonna super graze, you're gonna stack up lives, you're gonna be, it's okay, I'm gonna die, it's fine. In Touhou 11, if you die, you don't get a life piece. No life piece for you if you die during a boss pattern. Balanced. Immediately. Survive. That's your goal. Survive the pattern, get a life piece. How many life pieces do you to get an extent? 5 life pieces. Super balanced. That's amazing. And what does this do? You ask me. This rewards learning the patterns. Remember, learning the patterns. But Burb, I can spam bomb with Marisa A and Rainbow Seed. That's, please. I mean, there are other difficulties than just losing, the boss patterns. These stages themselves feel like boss fights, because they're pretty hard and you have to route them. Now say if you route them, what gives? Okay, cool. These bombs that you're gonna use, Rainbow C and Marisa A, not only do they waste 1 power, they're also sort of bad. Not by enemies, like, okay, in stages they're sort of kinda bad, maybe you could say that. Maybe you can, swoosh around with Rainbow C with her bomb, Fall Season Simulator. And then you got Marisa A, which is super narrow laser. That's her bomb. It doesn't cancel much. Good fucking luck. You get a few iframes. You're gonna be using some power. The game doesn't give you too much power. Again, well thought out. Doesn't want you to spam bomb. Doesn't want you to, sure, you're gonna spam bomb. Sure, you're gonna, spam bomb with Marisa A. That's her gimmick. Nobody does that. Rainbow C, you're gonna spam bomb. You're gonna lose on some damage. Sure, do it. You're gonna die again. You're gonna, it's not like Touhou 15 where you can bomb with Sanae once each chapter and get an extend back, which just gives you infinite lives. In Touhou 11, you gotta learn. You gotta clutch your ass. You gotta, have that, again, grit. Have that skill in you. That that I want to dodge patterns in you. Get it? And the scoring system is pretty diverse. It changes depending on difficulty, actually. And nothing much changes except for the PIV value. The PIV value just drastically increases on Lunatic, which makes you do something completely unique from the other difficulties. That's like the line of separation, I think, because I watched a easy, normal, and hard scoring run, and I watched the Lunatic score, and they're vastly different. And the shot type that, shot types, I'm gonna mention that a bit later. The shot types that carry these world records in easy, normal, and hard are different from the Lunatic world record carry. Remo A dominates Lunatic, Marisa B dominates easy, normal, and hard, as far as I remember. And the shot types, they each have their own gimmick, sort of quirk. You can maybe gap with Remo A. You can be really fast with Remo C. You can have 8 power levels with Marisa A. You can have 5 different formations with Marisa B, and much more. Just overall fun. And the soundtrack, one of the best. Always have to say it. Touhou 10 to 12. I don't need to say, like, Touhou 10 to 12 soundtrack is peak Zun's compositions, in my opinion. That's it. Number 4 is Touhou 12. And I spoke about Touhou 12 again in a separate video, but let me reiterate. Touhou 12 is not as bad as you think. It's the opposite. One of the best games in the series. This game, stages, presentation, shot types, and the UFO gimmick even. Well thought out, well planned. Routing is just fantastic. You play this game, you practice it, you lab it in the practice tool, you're gonna get this best satisfaction of your life in any Touhou game. This feedback it gives you for getting these UFO summons and such, nothing like it. Trust me. Just practice it, just try it. I want you to try. UFO haters, try the game, practice it, put some work, put some effort. Please. Super amazing game. I want you to notice something too about the game. Whenever you transition from stage to stage, look at the background. Specifically stage 1, 2, and 3. Look at the background and how it changes. You're gonna thank me later. Again, the soundtrack, amazing. UFO gimmick has this, consistency in it whenever you're on route, but if something kind of diverses your route a little bit, there is flexibility within the gimmick of the game. Zun thought of it. Rainbow UFOs, summon them, extra token. Like nothing happened. You're on your route again. Go back to your route. Game has tons of resources. Let's go back to Touhou 15. Touhou 15 is a good example of a bad, unhealthy resource system. I always do it. In Touhou 12, you get tons of resources if you know what to do. But the moment you die, you know how punishing it is. You're gonna lose one whole power. It's gonna make you lose tons of damage. And if you die twice, you might as well consider like the run almost dead. Die 3 times, I don't know, man. You're gonna keep wasting bombs over and over because you're gonna lack in damage. Get me? No. In Touhou 15, you don't get punished as much. Lack of punishment. That's what's missing in Touhou 15. That's why Touhou 12's resource system is fair. You're to putting so much work, to putting so much risk into getting these bombs and lives. And the moment you miss, the moment you die, it's incredibly punishing. You have to get back on your foot. If you got the gusto, if you got the power, if you got the courage to come back, it's gonna reward you. It is frustrating, yep, but Touhou 12, nothing like it. One of the most unique Touhou games. And I'm gonna say this about the next entry too. Oh wait, the next entry is Touhou 10. Okay, Touhou 10. Mountain of Faith is pretty like Touhou at its purest, but with power, bombs, amazing pace, shortest game in the game, shortest Touhou game in the series. The stages, fun. Patterns, fun. Fun shot types, creative, experimental. Even though some of them are bad, you could experiment with them. Very fun to play with. One of the most fun interactive scoring systems. Even though it's simple, you can do a lot of stuff with it. Sort of like this limitations breed creativity sort of stuff. Like, okay, how are you gonna chain the items? You gotta get creative with it. You got the bombs, you got the death bombs. Death bombs doesn't decrease your faith. You gotta increase your faith as much as possible. So your items are at max value. I love this scoring system. Even survival players can engage with it. You can score survival. You can. My Marisa C Lunatic 1cc is like 605 million, which is unprecedented for me because I never hit that sort of score milestone in Touhou 10 ever. But you know, I kind of like had the scoring knowledge, and look what happened. It's pretty fun. And what else? Yeah, like Touhou 10 is just super fun. Just plenty of fun. I recommend. Even like I don't really recommend it as a starting point, but when you play Touhou 6, 7, and 8, you appreciate Touhou 10 more. Even though the engine just changes a lot, you appreciate it. Trust me. Now, second place, Touhou 8. I've talked about this before. If there is a Touhou masterpiece, I'd consider two games, Touhou 10 and Touhou 8. Touhou 8 is the most unique Touhou game because it has this familiar end time system. Again, never appears again. I'm not saying like Rizan has to reuse mechanics because look how this turned out in Touhou 17, yeah? But I'd say think of something similar to it that rewards the player for, you know, canceling bullets, shooting, and it's just Touhou 8 is convoluted in a good way. You got the teams, you know, you got 8 different characters playable whenever you get unlock the solo shot types once you sing all teams. You got lots of content, lots of spell cards, and overall, like, the game is fun. You got 2 routes. You can fight either Marisa or Reimu, but you don't got the choice if you're playing a specific shot type. But you got the choice during Final A and Final B. You choose your final boss. And the soundtrack is amazing. The characters are amazing. It's just Touhou 8. It's that game. It's that Touhou game. It's got tons of stuff you can dabble in. You want a challenge? Play a solo shot type. You want to, you know, complete this specific team with Final A? Go for it. You want to score? Sure, try it. Dabble in scoring. Scoring is pretty hard, but the game allows you to score. Like, there's this the stages have these, the enemies in the stages have these cool things that, like, maybe try doing this, by the way. In stage 1 mid boss, Wriggle Nightbug mid boss, if you let her live for too long, she's gonna summon like 8 familiars, and this is like your chance to cancel all of these bullets and get tons of time items. Pretty cool. I love this sort of secrets and, you know, stuff that you can find out. Amazing. Now, number one, and it's the obvious choice for me, in my opinion, Touhou 6, Embodiment of Scarlet Devil. My absolute favorite Touhou game. And there are tons of reasons why. First of all, let's talk about the presentation. Western castle mansion thingy. Never seen again. Unique to Touhou 6, the only Western game. I'm glad Blue Devil and Belvedere did it, which is cool. And in Touhou 6, you got cool characters. My personal favorite character, Ramelia Scarlet, is there. She's the final boss. Amazing. She has an amazing theme. It's my second favorite track in the game. Second favorite track in Touhou overall, I mean. Soundtrack is amazing, of course. It has one of my favorite stage 1s and stage 4s, you know. I love stage 4, I love stage 3, I love stage 1. Stage 2, a bit on the boring side, but I still love it whenever I can use bombs. Because, you know, I can collect all the items. Speaking of collecting items, I like collecting items early on in the game, collecting my power. I feel rewarded for having this fast, swift movement and high-risk dodges, macro dodges. And of course, Touhou 6, like Touhou 10, and like Touhou 4, has score extents. Again, score extents. A metric to show how much the player knows about the game and how to score. Speaking of scoring in this game, each stage has a specific star item value, and the star item value increases whenever you graze. The graze counter resets each stage. No Touhou game does that. Again. And of course I have to mention it. The rank system. Call me crazy. Actually, don't call me crazy. I'd actually call Touhou fans crazy for hating on rank systems. It has a functioning rank system. Rank makes the bullets faster and changes the patterns on normal whenever the rank is max. That's cool. I love it. Even though the rank system is pretty simple, I still love it. That's a Touhou with a rank system that actually functions. Unlike, even though Touhou 7 and 8 and 10 have rank systems, they only affect certain specific patterns, minuscule effects here and there. Unlike Touhou 6, where the whole game is affected, you have to take the rank into consideration. Whenever you die, the rank plummets down. You don't want the rank to be low, because the bullets are gonna stay on screen for so long, so you wanna go for like super grazing and such. Again, amazing. And did I mention that the game is well paced? Gee whiz, I never mentioned that. The game is well paced. 25 minutes max. Maybe with Remo A, 27 minutes max, I'm not sure. But yeah. And I actually have recently achieved 250 almost million score on Lunatic, which, even though it's not high class P&D ready score, I still love scoring Touhou 6. I love scoring Touhou 6. And one day I'm gonna hit 300 million, trust me. And the shot types. I think this game has a balanced shot type system. Touhou 8 is much more balanced, but Touhou 6 is balanced, but except there's an exception, which is Remo A. Remo A is sort of weak, but not too bad. Not Remu, not Marise A levels type of bad from Touhou 10. I'd say, in my opinion, because Rainbow A has a unique trait that is only available for Rainbow A, which is homing. Although the homing doesn't function as intended, it makes the early game easier. I've discussed this before. The early game with Rainbow A is much easier than other shot types. But she struggles later on in stage 4 and later. Especially in stage 4. Stage 4, she's gonna struggle hard. And Rainbow B is like, even though it's the best shot type, it's like, you'd want to use Marisa A and B because they have, again, something different from Rainbow B. Even though all the shot types are simple, there's this subtle detail within the shot types, like, okay, Rainbow A, homing. Rainbow B, shotgun. Marisa A, powerhouse from any range. Marisa B, piercing, and has the master spark, strong bomb. And you're gonna say, Burb, you're wrong. Rainbow B is the strongest. Yes, she's the strongest. Just, you know, she has the weakest bomb, which Zon. Okay, Zon. The thing about Zon is that early on in Touhou, in Windows Touhou, he really had planned how shot types work and are balanced. In a way, you could say that Rainbow A needed a bit of buff, but the rest are just A-OK, in my opinion. Same with Touhou 7 and Touhou 8. Touhou 8 is the most balanced. Fight me. Touhou 8 is the... I don't think anybody is gonna fight me. Everyone agrees. Just Touhou 8 is the best... has the best balanced shot types. Other than that, now I'm gonna mention it. Controversial opinion. Touhou 6 has this... it's crowded with random patterns, but it's okay. I'm fine with it. Who really, like, the only people that are gonna care about Touhou 6 being plenty of random is the challenge runners, which I ignore. I always ignore whenever I criticize a game. I don't have the perspective of a challenge runner. Oh, this pattern is hard, this pattern is impossible, I don't care. What I care about is that I'm gonna play the game to its fullest. I'm gonna use all bombs. I'm gonna use everything in my arsenal. Again, I don't really care about restricting myself from bombing. And I think that having these really difficult patterns that are fast and hard to read are necessary in a shmup. Because there is this, someone commented on about this in one of my videos, the arcade mentality in shmups where you have to use everything in your bag, your bombs, your lives, to get the clear. Not many really get it. I don't know why people judge Touhou 6 based on the challenge run aspect. And someone also argued with me that also Touhou 6 scoring is also plenty of RNG. And I'd argue that Touhou 6 scoring on high, like top level is yes, RNG. I'm not gonna argue that. But we've seen the skill that top scoring runners show. They're willing to grind and put tons of time in Touhou 6 scoring, which is entertaining to watch, and I admire these players a lot. What else? Let me think. But again, like Touhou 6 is Touhou at its purest, just like Touhou 10, but It feels like a more traditional shmup. The patterns are fast. You're interacting, you're dodging. I don't care if there is missing quality of life. Just, you know how you have the muscle memory, you have the memorization of how to move around. Whenever you play like something that needs muscle memory, it's the same with the hitbox placement. In a way, I think that Touhou 6, the hitbox is missing. That's a fair criticism. Same with the enemy label missing. Fair criticism. Same with the the weak enemy sound, when they're low health, missing. Again, fair criticism. But at its time, consider this. 2002 well-polished dojin game that can I wouldn't say compete. That's crazy. No. It's a well-polished dojin game that blew up in Japan. Why did it blow up? If it was shitty as people say, if it was bad and kusoge as people say, why did it blow up in Japan? Tell me. At the time in 2002, you had what? You have cave games like Dodonpachi Dai Ojo. That is considered a masterpiece in Touhou. That is considered a masterpiece in Bullet Hell. You got other bullet hells you got Esparade, you got Cave Games, you got Battle Garega. People love Battle Garega. People love Armed Police Batrider. Why did people, if these games exist, why do people buy Touhou? Yeah, gee, I wonder why. Because maybe it's a good game. It's a well-polished game for being a simple dojin game made by one developer. And it proves that Zun had some love for this game. Had a lot of love for this game. You see the version fixes, you got 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, 1.2, 1.2, A, B, C, D, E, G, H. It's on 1.02 H version. That's crazy. He kept polishing it until what? And at the same time, he was working on Touhou 7. Even crazier. And not only that, and I hate mentioning it, but yeah, Touhou 6 actually changed the internet forever. Cyrano, UNO1 was her. What else? Give me more. Name the things that Touhou 6 is popular for. But yeah. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me think. I was about to say something at the end of the video. Oh yeah, I do have tons of plans. Let me open my notes. I had some interesting plans for videos, new videos. I'd want to learn how to edit and not just ramble over and over and over, because it sort of becomes tiring. I'd love to have cuts and edits and learn to put some, I'm gonna try my best about it. But yeah. That was one of my videos that I wanted to make, ranking all Touhou games in order. And I have a few more plans to talk about. I'm gonna talk about Blue Revolver, specifically how each characters and weapons work, and explain in depth. I'll try my best. I'll have to play them all much more, because there are some weapons I haven't played much or just haven't played at all. There's even a big video I want to get into, but I have to learn editing again. And I'm gonna give you the title of the video, a little bit of teaser, but the title of the video is The Greatest Video Game Achievement Ever. That's all you get. I'm sorry. But yeah. I'm done. Hopefully, again, you enjoyed the video. You enjoyed me rambling about Touhou games. I'm not like these days. Haven't been into Touhou much. I haven't been playing Touhou games. I've just been on cave games. I've been on the Donkey Kong Country. I've been on other games. Uh, yeah, mostly cave games. If you've seen my replays, watch it. I got the Espeluda run. I got the Diojo Black Label run, and I actually got close with the White Label, which I'm gonna get eventually. Trust. I'm gonna work hard on it. I love Diojo to death. But yeah, take care.